So my name's Tom Reed, and this gentleman, I met him last weekend pushing a car out of, I guess, a little berm of snow. How you doing?
Good.
Your name, sir?
Paul Yoder.
Paul. Glad to meet you. Appreciate you having me over here. A lot of interest in people I have on a channel with Amish, and right out of the chute, being Amish entails what exactly?
Are you talking about my faith or?
Both. The faith. We'll start out with the faith. Yeah.
Okay, well, we believe in Jesus Christ, who saves us from all our sins, and in God. We have, it's, as far as the Amish faith. I mean, it's we're born into the Amish faith, so we don't believe that they're the only that's the only people that have a free ticket to heaven or nothing like that. It's through sanctification of the Lord, that we can be saved and we can get to heaven. Being baptized in the faith. That is, and then as far as what we strive to do, as far as in our work ethics is that we try to get we go through 8th grade, and then our children work with us in our businesses or on our farms or whatever we are doing. We try to include them in our workforce and whatever, and then we don't drive cars. We have horses and buggies, and we in the fields we have the horses, so that and the thing about, we're not saying that cars are wrong because we ride in them, but for our community, for community's sake, we try to uphold the horse and buggies because of it'll bring us all closer together. We can't be stretched out 30 miles or 40 miles and not see each other except on Sunday. So we're all kind of in a close community, and that's what we strive to do. So we're all together that way.
So everybody that's Amish should be Christian then.
Well, that's our goal. Yes.
Okay, all right.
That's our
And
goal.
there are different rules and regulations with different orders, is my
That
understanding.
is correct. There's a lot of different orders of it. We're called the Old Order Amish. There's a New Order Amish, and there is a Sorgentrooper Amish, and there's more than that yet. There's different, and even the Old Order Amish, it varies from community to community what they, as far as materialism, what they're allowed to do. As far as what they have. But we try to do the same from any electric off the lines. If we have electrical tools, hand tools, we have a generator that we run with that, and we try to do everything battery operated as much as can as far as the hand tools. And then when we have our sawmills are off of hydraulic and air and battery, so we don't have any lines coming in off the electric lines.
Okay, I noticed on this business you own, you don't accept credit cards.
We don't.
Why?
We don't use credit cards, and we don't accept credit cards.
Is that just because it's too?
Well, the reason we did that, we used to have credit cards here in our community, and we had some people that had a problem with that. They would maybe overextend themselves, and then we had to help them get back on their feet and whatever. We just felt maybe it's a better way to go would be to abstain from the temptation of all these credit cards that are out there that you can get for 15,000 and then nothing paid back, and then all of a sudden it's 24% interest or whatever, and they can't do it.
Yeah. Okay.
And so we just abstained from that, and that's kind of where we got ourselves into where we're today, is not having credit cards, and we don't accept because we don't have the machine to do it anyway. But that might change. There's things in the community that change, from time to time. We all of a sudden we see a need that really we need to do this or that or another thing, and then we all get together and we decide on something, and if we all agree that we feel that it's not a detriment to our faith or whatever, then we adapt to it.
What do Amish do for insurance? If you go to a hospital, how is that?
We have our own free will under our churches. We're included with a lot of, like, our church group has maybe 50 or 60 different churches, that if we have a hospital bill that somebody can't pay, we all pitch in and we pay for that.
Okay. That time in a young male Amish man's life where he's deciding to stay Amish or change, there's a word that they use for that. What's the name of that? Where they
You
kind
mean
of.
Rumspringa?
Yes. Could you tell me what that is?
Yeah.
I mean, we hear
That
a
is
lot
not,
about
that,
this.
that is not what we use up here. That is that is a phrase they use when they get 16. They are considerate with the young folks. So the young folks in our community, they get together once a week. They might play volleyball, or they might go skating in the winter, or they might go help a neighbor cut his firewood. They might go do quilts, or comforters, or for Christian Aid Ministries, or they might do the baskets for send them overseas. And they get together and do stuff like that. They might go rake somebody's lawn in the fall, or two people's. And that's what the young folks is. And then every Sunday evening we have a youth singing, where the youth get together to sing, and then there's also other marrieds there too.
Okay.
So that's besides our church service during the day. That is what, and the youth are, they're from 16 until they get married. That's what we call our youth group.
Okay, so this isn't a time where a young Amish guy goes to Detroit and
No,
parties for 2 months.
no, not at all.
Okay, that's how TV kind of sells it sometimes.
No, absolutely not.
Okay. And
No, our youth are right here with us
okay.
in our business or in our community, and they help on the carpenter crew or in the farms or in the shops or whatever. No, that's not there. I'm not saying that there's been youth that have decided to leave. That has happened a few times up here, but that is not the normal. That is not what we do not allow that.
Okay. How about people joining Amish orders that did not grow up in it?
Yeah, we have that.
Is that very prevalent? Does it happen
It's
often?
not a lot, because normally, but there's a few things that play into this, and Mennonites, they drive cars, so it's a little easier for somebody that never was parted from a car to go from their way of thinking to a Mennonite group too, because they can still drive the car.
Okay.
But they don't have TV. Their lifestyle is a lot like ours, except they have tractors and they farm with tractors, and they have cars, and they're a little different, but the faith is about the same.
Okay. I briefly talked to you about the horses you have that drive your carts. Those are ex-trotters, right?
Yep.
And
Most of them are. Now there's some different breeds out there that people are using, but that is as a whole is what it is. Yes.
now, could that typical horse be ridden with a saddle?
Oh, they can, but that is not normally what we do, because that breaks their. I mean, that it kind of, because when you on a buggy, you want your horse trotting. When you're riding him, you want to canter, or you want to gallop or whatever, and that kind of breaks their trotting for the buggy. You don't want a horse to gallop in a buggy or whatever. So we try to not use any riders for the buggies.
Okay, and the horses you use, would you say you have 100% confidence in?
Oh yeah, I mean they got to be trained.
Right.
We raise some horses too.
Oh, okay.
Then we have to break them and train them and whatever. But
Okay.
yeah, we get the confidence in them. Oh yeah.
One thing that I just can't quit thinking about, long story short, I go down to Detroit sometimes. I do a lot of photography as well, and there are women down there that get born into unfortunate circumstances. They get on the wrong side of God. They become drug addicted. They work the streets, that kind of thing. And it's a high recidivism rate. I mean, they go to rehab, they try to get out. It seems like it's a difficult path for these women to escape. And I've thought before, geez, what else could I do? And I've considered sometimes maybe bringing some of these women up just to show them a different way of life.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the Amish community would be open to that, or they?
We wouldn't throw it away.
Yeah. Do you have any ideas on that? I mean, you know what I'm talking about.
I do.
And I people have defined what they think I do when I go down there, and I wouldn't agree with it. All I do is offer them an interview, try to help if I can, but I don't know what to do. And sometimes I brought up the Amish life, not that I expect them to convert and to try and be an Amish person, but
Right.
they don't know anything other than the environment that they've been brought into. And I wonder if you have any ideas on that, or anything
Well, it's
you.
a culture shock. It's a very, very high culture shock from what they're used to and what we have here is a very big culture shock. They cannot comprehend, it's like going through a door and seeing something on the other side that you've never seen before.
You're right.
And the shock is sometimes overtakes them now, just to talk to people like that, just for a day, bringing them up and talking to them for a day, and having them sit somewhere where they can, but observing it is going to do more for them than just talking to them. So you almost have to show them, you have to drive them around, show them what is actually going on,
Okay.
and I think sometimes if that could be a help, more power to them. It's something that I feel if they could actually do that and it changed their life. The Bible says one soul won to Christ is more than all the world's goods. So if that could actually happen,
Yeah.
it's very much worth it.
Yeah, it is. I agree. I want to know. You seem to know what I'm talking about.
Well, I do because I've been there.
Oh, you've been there.
Well, I've been to Detroit. I've been to different places where I've seen these things that are just. It's awful.
It is awful.
It's awful. And there's people going overseas to help people overseas, and I feel we have it right here in Michigan. We have it in about every state. We have exactly the same stuff as they're talking about overseas, where these people are living in huts and they're living in shambles, they're living in whatever, but they don't know nothing different.
They don't know anything different. They get on drugs. They live in
Yep.
abandoned homes.
Yep, exactly. I was down in Detroit because we had sold a bunch of lumber down there, and I was down there, and we were in the ghetto part of it, and I was kind of scared to come out of there, and we drove another half a mile, and the complete scene of things changed. It was a kind of a high end, coming out of there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like going through a wall, going through a door, and here was respectable people, and here were drug addicts, or
Mhm.
whatever they were,
Yeah.
whatever you call it, So, but they don't know any difference. It's now the fourth, fifth generation going through this, and they have no clue that there's anything different.
Would you, just throwing something out there, would you think these people are salvageable? They can be changed. They can.
Well, it takes something to change it because when you're brought up, I think the best way to do. I'd say the best way, but I feel that in a circumstance like that, it almost has to be very young people because once they grow up and they're 12, 14 years old already, it's going to be really hard to change that pattern for them because they don't know nothing different. But
Mhm.
there's hope for anybody as long as they have a breath in themselves. There's still hope for anybody.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it.
So I'm not saying that is not possible, but it's yeah, it's different. It's
Yeah.
different.
Is alcohol any part of an Amish lifestyle?
No, not in our community. It's absolutely not part of it.
And what Bible do you use?
King James.
Okay. And are all the babies do the Amish believe in baby baptism?
No. Upon
Interesting.
your confession of faith.
And that can run an age range, right?
Yes.
And what would be a typical age?
Typical age is from 16 to 18 normally for the Amish.
Okay.
19.
A lot of people out there think that the Amish don't pay taxes, which I already know is wrong.
Yeah, we pay all the taxes plus.
You do, don't you?
Absolutely.
You don't pay into Social Security,
We
though,
don't
I
pay
think.
Social Security because we don't draw Social Security, so we're exempt from that.
Okay.
But other taxes, all the other taxes we pay, and that is not a tax. The Social Security is not a tax. We
And
pay property tax, we pay income tax, we pay all the taxes that are out there, and but Social Security we do not pay for. But yes, because we don't hide our stuff. There's a lot of people that want to pay cash so they don't have to show it. We tell them it doesn't help us any because we pay taxes on everything we get anyway.
gotcha. So there aren't any Amish that are getting tax exemptions because they claim their 100-acre farm is a church.
No,
I didn't think so.
no.
Interesting. And if a young Amish couple's trying to start out, how do they come up with the money for their first farm?
Through the community.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So they could actually get it financed through the community?
Most time they can get help at least, yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Now, you, I'm assuming you'd have your typical politics in the Amish community, right? Different people.
Yeah, yeah.
The,
I mean, there's more outspoken people and there's more.
the human factor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
On the buggies, are they bought new or constructed and
Yeah, we have buggy shops that built these buggies new.
up here?
We had one, they just closed it down, and now they're coming from Manton. But yes, we do have buggy shops
And
all
what
over
it-
the state of Michigan.
What does a new buggy cost?
You can have a new buggy from anywhere from $7,000 to $12,000.
Okay. And what about the new, I say new, they're probably not, but the new that I've observed, bright lights on the buggies.
LEDs.
Yeah. Is this a state law, something the Amish decided?
Well, we believe, like our bicycles, we have very high respect for the outside people that they are very, in our community here especially, we feel they do a very good job for us to have wider roads so we can bike along the sides of the roads and whatever, and we try to do, we encourage vests and really good bike lights, back and front. Buggy lights, back and front, good lights. We really encourage that so that it's not hard to put lights on a buggy. I mean, it's simple as can be, so why not be so that the car can see you?
So you're running your lights, what, off a 12-volt battery?
Yeah, normally that's what we have.
Do the buggies have heat?
No, but they're tight. When you sit in there, it's usually, you're dressed for the outside, you're not gonna get cold in the buggy.
Not the most intelligent question I've ever asked, but people ask me, no radios.
No radios.
Have you ever heard of anybody having a radio in a
Oh,
buggy?
yes.
Up here?
Not here.
Okay. Would this be considered a conservative order then up here? Because it's old Amish?
We would be a conservative, but not like the Swartz Troopers or